Yeah, good evening, students. So today we are going to discuss about Python features. What makes Python so popular? So we will discuss point by point. Right? This Python is a high-level programming language which supports multiple paradigms like structure-oriented programming, block structure-oriented programming, object oriented programming, and moreover it is a general purpose programming language which can used for multiple purposes. And the another point behind the Python which makes so versatile and popular, Python is a open source programming language and which have large community support, and it is a free where anyone can download, can use it, and which supports the which supports on multiple operating systems. Right, we will discuss the features one by one. The most striking feature and extract the most number of the users in the world, irrespective of the background they are coming from. The first one is easy to learn and use. Why it is easy to learn and the use is, since the Python is a high level programming language, most of its syntax is easy to understand, which makes the a vital choice for the beginners to learn. As it is available in the high level, it emphasizes on the readability and whatever the cost associated with the program maintenance is, which is very minimal. I already told you Python is a high level programming language. Its structure is much similar to your English, so that we can easily understand. And whatever the indentation concept we are used in the Python, which is used to define the blocks of code, at the same time it will improve the readability, right? So this is why the Python is very easy to learn and use. The main reason is it is very easy to understand, since it is a high level programming language. It is much similar to like english structure, and we have the minimal punctuation, we have the minimal punctuation. And what is the another feature in Python is a interpreted programming language, where interpreted means you all know the line by line execution, which makes the debugging is so easier. If you see whatever the Python source code file is there, which is going to save with the .py, then after it will be given to the Python interpreter. This interpreter will generate the bytecode. So this bytecode will be given to the virtual machine. This virtual machine will generate the output. So when you go through more detail about this, whatever this Python interpreter is there, this interpreter will internally consist of the compiler. This compiler will generate the bytecode. This bytecode will be given to the virtual machine. So for this virtual machine, the bytecode will be passed, and our whatever the library modules are there, the library modules will be passed. So this is how the Python interpreter has been designed, right? Now And another striking feature of the Python is a dynamically typed programming language. See here, you no need to mention the type of the variable which you are going to use in your program. You no need to declare a variable in the Python. The explicit declaration of the data types is not required in case of declaring the variable. The interpreter will identify the type of data that you are using at the runtime. At the runtime. So I will show you practically here. You can easily understand what exactly this dynamically typed. So let me open the editor. Let me have a variable first. Here in this I stored the 1. Let me have one more variable second. In this I have stored 2.3. Let me have one more variable third. In this I am going to store a one character. Let me have one more variable. In this I am going to store a string, and I am going to create one more variable where I am going to store one boolean value. Then right, likewise I am going to create the different variables different variables. Here I have created different variables. Now I just want to know what kind of data each one is holding. Sorry, print type first. So the first is holding the what integer. I have not at all declared its data type, but dynamically it understood that the moment you initialize it first equal to one integer value, your interpreter understood that the first variable is going to hold the what integer. Similarly, first type second is holding the what floating point value. Print type the third variable I'm going to look at. The third is a what? String. In case of Python, there is no character data type. Everything is string when you are mentioning the single quotes or the double quotes. Then I'm going to create one more. Yes, we have used one more variable 4. In the 4, I have assigned with the Naresh. It is string. Print. Let me have the 5. 5 is a what? Boolean. Now type 6. 6 is a what? Non type. Print type 7. 7 is the what? Complex number. 7 is the what? Complex number. See, in all these example, what we have observed, we haven't declared any variables. Straight away we initialized a variable with a value. Dynamically your Python interpreter is understanding what sort of data is there in the variable, that is what we have proved. Now, so remember, the another striking feature of the Python is dynamically typed. Python doesn't require any explicit declaration of the data types when you are declaring the variable. That is what we have observed when we initialize the different sort of variables with the different values, right? The interpreter will determine the type at the runtime. Here also I have quoted an example. If you see this example here, x is initialized to 10. Immediately I have printed its type. It is holding the integer. Now I have taken one more, the same x I have used, which is used to initialize the string class str. If we are going to use the same concept in any other programming language, what it is going to tell is redeclaration of the same variable is not possible. Redeclaration of the variable is not possible. Whereas in the Python, the same variable can be used for multiple occasions. One time it is going to hold the integer, the same variable another time it can hold the string, the same variable at the same time it can use another. Whereas if you use the same variable to hold the multiple values in the same language, in other than the Python language, it will throw the redeclaration of the same variable. The redeclaration of the same variable is not possible. Redeclaration of the same variable is not possible in case of the other languages like C, C++, Java. Whereas in the Python, if you use the same variable for the multiple times, yes, it is possible. Let me show practically to you. Now, let me open it. Let me take the new file. Then here I'm going to take the x equal to 1, then x equal to 2 point, yeah, here I am going to print the value, print x. Now the same x I am used to initialize the 2.3, then I am going to print the x, then x equal to, I will assign Naresh, then I will print x, then x equal to 3.4, then I will print the x. So let me save this, right? Let me execute it, run the module. Yes, it's got executed, see the output. Whereas if the same one, if you are trying to execute in the other language, definitely it will throw an error. What is that error? Redeclaration of the same variable is not possible. Redeclaration of the same variable is not possible. So this is what the dynamically typed feature of the Python. Now that is what exactly is important under the dynamic typed is, you no need to explicitly declare the data type of a variable, and whatever the type checking is there, what sort of the data is holded by the variable means the type checking is done at the runtime. The type checking is done at the runtime. At the runtime it will decide what kind of variable it is, right? So the next striking feature of the object oriented programming is, Python is object oriented programming. It supports the object oriented programming concepts and structure oriented and block oriented. Coming to object oriented here you can have the classes and you can have the inheritance, you can implement the polymorphism. So whatever these object oriented features are there, which you can use for further complex software development. So Python supports both structure oriented programming, object oriented programming, block structure oriented programming. So what sort of concepts you required, whether you want to implement the class or object or inheritance or polymorphism or exceptional handling. So whatever the object oriented concepts you want to implement here, yes, you can implement here, and you can further extend it for software development. Now, what is the another striking feature for the Python is, here it have the extensive standard library, right? So the modules you can use for the file operation, system calls, socket, web development, and lot more. Extensive standard library is supported by Python. You can use for your scientific purpose, you can use it for visualization, you can use it for artificial intelligence, you can use it for machine learning, you can use it for deep learning, you can use it for game development, you can use it for web development, you can use it for dashboard development, what not, it is there everywhere. You name the one technology there, definitely we are going to use whatever the stuff you required, the stuff is provided. You can also use it for a database management connection also. So it have the extensive standard library. And what is the another striking feature of the Python is, so Python is a cross platform, that is what platform independent. So why it makes the platform independent is because of that bytecode. So once the compiler is generated the bytecode, that bytecode you can run on the multiple operating systems, where it may be a Windows or Macintosh or the Linux. So write once, run anywhere. Write once, run anywhere. If you see the diagram here, so what we have done, whatever the bytecode is there, that bytecode we can run it on the Macintosh operating system or Windows operating system or Linux operating system. How this is been possible is because of Python virtual machine. Because of this Python virtual machine, we can able to run on the different systems. So the bytecode is platform independent. So since the bytecode is the platform independent, it makes the Python platform independent. But whatever your virtual machines are there, these virtual machines are what platform dependent. Whatever this virtual machine is there, you will have the virtual machine for the Macintosh, virtual machine for the Windows, virtual machine for the Linux. But whatever the bytecode is generated, that bytecode will be common. So that bytecode is platform independent, so which will makes your Python language as the platform independent, or you can say portable, or you can say portable. And another important striking feature is in several there are the several IDs are available for the Python, like PyCharm, VS Code, Jupyter Notebook. So when this language is supported by the IDs, which makes the job which makes the programmer's job very easy. They can do some sort of code analysis. When they want to do the jumping from one code to another code, they can easily jump. When they want to betterly organize the project structure, they can organize, they can debug it. So when they want to have the better project management, if these IDEs are there, we can have the better project management. That is what the advantage of the what integration, integrated development environment. So there are multiple options are there for the Python, like I mentioned here: PyCharm, VS Code, Jupyter Notebook. Now, I have listed out a couple of features of the PyCharm, which is an IDE. What can it able to do means, if you see the first one, we can complete the code. So it will offer, the moment you have typed something, you will get the suggestions. You know, if you write the part of the code, there itself it will show the list of options. And it will support the smart code navigation. You can jump from the one place to another place, one place to another place. So whatever the definitions, whatever the usages, and whatever the implementations are there, you can go for function call to function definitions, function call to function definitions, class to class definitions. So likewise, wherever the sort of smart code navigation you required, that can be possible in case of functions and modules and classes concept. And you can easily check the errors. You can easily check the errors. And you, since you have the integrated debugger, you can go with the line by line. You can watch the variables, you can inspect the variables, you can see the intermediate results also, you can set the breakpoints also. And with the help of this IDEs, we can have the better better version controls, which can easily integrated with the GitHub SVN and the other other systems. It also supports the what refactoring tools, so that you can safely restructure your code with the confidence. And whatever, if you want to integrate the testing for your environment, yes, it can integrate some unit testing and test coverage and the debugging. And it will also support for the what the web development support, Django, Flask, and other frameworks. I already told you, which also supports the what database management, and which also gives the support for the what scientific computing support. Scientific computing support, there are the libraries are there using which you can operate on the matrices. You can go for the better visualizations. That's what that matplotlib, right? And another striking feature of the Python is extensive community support and the ecosystem. Since the Python is open source and the freeware, it will have the huge community support. Always you have the, every time you will have the versions. Why? Because it is an open source, right? A, anyone can download it, can work on it. And also you understood that one thing, it is a freeware. You can download it and use it. That's why you will have the extensive community support and the ecosystem, as it is a what open source and freeware software. And in the initial itself, I already told you Python is a general purpose programming language which is not specifically designed for anything. You can use this Python for multiple purposes. You can use it for artificial intelligence, you can use it for data analytics, you can use it for data visualization, you can develop the programming applications, you can go for web development, you can go for database applications, you can go for game development, you can go for language development which can able to integrate with the other languages. You can use the Python for search engine optimization also. Here I have listed couple, but lot more we can do. That's why the Python can be used for multiple purposes, and it can easily integrate with the other programming languages. That is what the another important feature of the Python. You can easily, this Python is having the integration capability. It can easily integrate with the C++, Java and more, which supports the various APIs and the web services. And Python is also supports the what means you can develop the GUI applications. There are the packages are available. With the help of those packages, you can develop the graphical user interfaces. One of such library is TK Enter and PyQt and Kiwi. These are, you can develop the graphical user interfaces using Python. And I already told you, as it is having the larger community support, we can see the lot of developments in the Python, right? So that is what about Python features. In the next class we will discuss about the next topic. Thank you.